Hi everyone, thanks for being here today. So today is a very special day for the film composers and the directors from the Talent Village. So I'm Emmeline, I head the Music Village at Les Arcs Film Festival, where we organize music concerts, professional events around music and films, speed meetings, and we collaborate with the Talent Village, where we organize an open call for emerging film composers from all over Europe. And thanks to SACEM that support us. Thank you, SACEM. So this year, you'll see we have 4 amazing film composers from across Europe that's going to present the 2 themes they worked on with 2 different directors this year, and they will be showing the work they've been working on for the last 2 months with the directors. So I'm going to introduce Nina, who's the big boss of the Talent Village. Big applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmeline. Hi, I'm Nina. I work at the Industry Village with Emmeline for the Talent Village program. So just to sum up a little bit, the Talent Village is an industry program focused on first feature from directors from all over Europe. We select like 8 shining diamonds through our whole year of prospections, and so they present their first feature here during the co-production market, and they have 3 different workshops during their stay. One tutor by Eric Glynis and Olivier Barbier about sales and productions. One about film festival strategy, tutored by Rémi Bigot from the Cannes Critics Week. And one about music supervision in the frame of this collaboration with the Music Village, tutored by Laura Bell, who is here, our amazing music supervisor tutor. And yeah, and at this final collaboration, the idea today is to present that the work they did together, it's a hard work to compose music for a first feature in the real life, and it's harder when you don't really know in person the directors. You come from different countries, you don't speak the same languages, you just meet on Zoom, but actually they did a really, really amazing work. This is why we really want to present you here. And before to let the floor to the stars, we just have to thank the whole committee of the Talent Village. Like this is the film festival team actually. Lison Hervé, Jérémy Zelnik, Guillaume Callot, Pierre-Manuel Florentin as well. Emmeline Marabel, of course. So thank you to watch so many shorts, film, read features, listen music with us. And now let's go back to why we're here, for the music and the film. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time. Thank you. And now, for beginning for today, we are going to hear and to listen to Titouan and Electra for the future project, The Songs of the Beast. Please come. We can applaud it. Thank you.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Titouan Robert. I'm from Paris and Grenoble. And I'm here with my feature film project called The Song of the Beast. So, this film is the story of a young sport journalist from a French newspaper, Libération, who meets a traumatized slaughterhouse worker looking for help and for a witness to the brutality of his job. So, it's a journalistic investigation conceived as a thriller through images filmed secretly in slaughterhouses, through the story of workers, and through multiple confrontation with industrial and institutional violence where empathy is prohibited. And this investigation will gradually obsess this young journalist, taking him out of his comfort zone, leading him to a new and frantic way of life, and making him question the boundaries between journalism and activism. So this is a film I would like to be very fast-paced, raw and realistic, and the music should follow this aesthetic research. At this very early stage of writing, for me, I don't really know what role the music will play in the film. So for the music we are about to hear today, we didn't want to write something that would be a musical reflection of the general. We didn't want to compose a piece for the film, but more to write something that will be a musical reflection of the general atmosphere, rhythm, sensation, and color that I wanted to inject into the film, the script and the editing. So it's more like an independent piece of music, which is a sort of musical setting of all my intentions. For that, the main inspiration was the minimalist music, and more precisely 3 composers that were very important to me, Michael Nyman, John Adams, and Steve Reich. And at the same time, we tried to include the idea of the film noir atmosphere, the solitary investigation in the style of the new Hollywood films, which are another major reference for me and for the film, and for the music too, especially for the second movement of this piece, but I will let Electra speak more precisely about it, and I hope you will enjoy it as much as I enjoy working with Electra on this composition and on this piece of music. Thank you very much.
So hi, my name is Electra. I'm based in Paris too. So for this piece, the main intention was to create a very rhythmic piece. So it's based on accumulation, repetition, in order to recreate like the work of the journalist and of his investigation. And there are many voices that are overlaying and relaying to recreate like the workers' stories, to represent the workers' stories. So we decided to work with a piano, strings and woodwinds only, and not to use percussions, because we absolutely wanted the rhythm to be created by the melodic instruments only. So we also recorded some sounds you're going to see for the last part especially, that are supposed to represent the work of the main character. And so it was actually very funny, because Titouan came at the studio and we recorded like scratches with a pencil, a newspaper, and a keyboard computer. So I just gave a microphone to Titouan and headphones, and he was like that with a pencil on a paper. It was very fun. So the piece is divided in 3 movements that represent the state of mind that the characters are in throughout the movie. Sideration, obsession, and action. Sideration is based on a big crescendo throughout the whole first movement. The idea was to create an impression of constantly moving forward, and creating like a discomfort, and not being very pleasant for the listener, because that's the fact with the images that the journalist sees and works on every day. And it's based on the idea of an ostinato and many ostinatos that are overlaying throughout the first movement. So an ostinato is like a short rhythmic pattern that is repeated. This one is only on 3 notes. The second movement is based on the idea of the solitude of the character. So it's based on the ostinato of the piano, but really etiolated, and to create this effect of like we are lost in time. And it leads to like a rebirth of the main character with the third movement, which is very similar to the first one, but even more intense, that builds up even more. And with we created that with the idea of canon music, like there are ostinatos that are in canon, and it builds up even more intense. So that's it, I think. wanted to say also that the big challenge was to make it more human as possible, but we didn't have an orchestra on the computer, so it was a big work of programming with velocities and dynamics, and we just recorded like some real violins. Bravo.
Thank you very much, Francis. And now we'll continue with the project Anxiety of the Heart with Michal and Jonas.
Hello, my name is Michał Edelman and I'm a director from Poland, and this is
Jonas Vogler, composer from Berlin in Germany. Hi.
yeah, so we worked on a little piece for my project Anxiety of the Heart. The author of the script of this film, his name is Karol Marczak. He's actually here with us, which is super nice. He's my old friend. We met when we were 13 years old, smoking cigarettes behind our school, and then we went to high school together, like an international high school in Warsaw, which is quite substantial because the whole project is set in this type of environment. So we are super close to the world of our film. And this Anxiety of the Heart is a love story, a teenage love story, about Timek, who kind of struggles to accept himself, and because of that he often sabotages many relationships he has, and sometimes to silence everything going on in his mind, he hurts himself. And so the majority of the film takes part during the 4 days when Timek decides to steal money from his dad. And instead of preparing to his finals, he runs away from home to pursue the love of his classmate Zoe. And at the beginning, it's not going so well, but then they kind of connect. They walk in parks. They kiss, which is super romantic. And when everything seems to be going perfect for the two, they truly connect. Timek's self-destructive tendencies kind of kick in, and he falls into this autodestructive spiral. So I want this film to be a little bit like Timek. At the beginning, it should be maybe light and romantic, very passionate, but it gets darker and darker progressively, and at the end, it gets super raw and even bloody. So this was basically the beginning of our discussions about what we're going to prepare for today's pitch.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think the first thing I did when I started to work on the music for this project, I searched for sounds that could work in both, like that could start out soft and maybe beautiful, but also had the potential to grow like really noisy and really maybe also unpleasant, because we had the idea to also make the piece of music kind of a little bit like the film, starting out calm and kind of beautiful, although also gritty. It should be all the time like very, I don't know, not too polished, but kind of imperfect, but with a beauty in itself, something like that. And then to gradually go into something, yeah, I don't know, like very noisy and very, very loud and very intense. And yeah, the instruments I settled on was different instruments like the piano, a e-piano also, then for example the theremin. I don't know if anyone of you knows it, probably yes, it's this instrument that you don't touch, and just like by getting the hand closer or far away, it changes the volume and like the pitch, so like yeah, like this the kind of eerie instrument. So I tried to use instruments that have like some special quality to it, and then I changed the sound by either like changing the attack, for example, of the piano, and make the attack very long, which normally isn't a thing in piano, and also distorting it and putting more reverb and other effects on it. And so yeah, I have the possibility to have like this sounds, but have a lot of parameters that I can change throughout the piece with these parameters. Yeah, and I think at the beginning I started out with writing a piece that was kind of close to the images of the short mood trailer Michal did, but then in the process we realized that it would be better to really just take it as a mood trailer and really make the piece more slowly evolving and not so much like composed to the edit. So I think that was most of the process, going back and forth, and also we had like some remote sessions looking at the session together and just like changing things live, and yeah, then we ended up with this piece that you are gotten about to her here.
Yeah, so what we're going to show is a short like mood teaser with the music composed by like during this exercise we did.
Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we're going to Spain with the project Made in Mud by Anna and Electra.
Hello, we are Anna and Electra, and Made in Mud is my first feature film. It tells a story about a village that is suffering a transformation because of tourism and abandonment, and how two 12-year-old friends try to find this kind of attached to this place, do this transformation. With this film, I want to talk about identity in sense of how every person feels a friendship and how this face the growth, and the identity of how ourselves, how we can feel a village. We based the song we are going to show you in a scene, and in a very concrete scene of the film, where it's in the village of the film. They are traditional festivities dedicated to fireflies in summer, which now is like a legend, but in the past was a thing that happened. So all the people, all the locals meet together, and they show their songs. They spend time together. But this time, with tourism, it's impossible to do the traditional things. So they hide in a bar, what seems closed. They are all inside, and Paul, a teenager with his guitar, and Sebastian, a very old and messy person of the village, very connected to the village, improvise a song. And Electra and I based the song on that scene.
Hi again. So the particularity of the music in Anna's film was that it shouldn't be like only here to accompany and enhance the emotion. It is really a real narrative tool because it is played by the characters of the movie, and it's the real identity of the villagers and the village itself. So, as Anna said, we had to record a clarinet, a guitar, and a bass, because that was the character's instrument. And we knew we wanted some percussions, and we thought, why not try to make like it's the people of the village that are just accompanying the musicians and tapping on tables, on back of guitars, with finger snaps and by clapping hands, etc. So we try to really recreate the mood of the jam session here. Also, the song, the main intention was to make a really simple song. Like, the musicians are not professionals at all, they're not virtuoso, they're just playing for the love of music and of playing together. And the theme starts really simple and with a few notes, and then develops, and it had to develop into something very powerful, like an improvisation. So I don't play the clarinet, but so I recorded like the theme with a violin and an improvisation at the violin, and then I made a retranscription for the clarinet, and so we recorded it. And after that, we decided to follow the next sequence of the film, which is the same kids that go into the forest, and they see the last two fireflies still shining. And so there, the music is extra diegetic this time, and it had to be very magical and surreal. To finish, I just wanted to read you a message that Anna sent me when we were working together, that I found perfect to try to describe the sound of the clarinet and the emotion that it had to convey. So she said to me, "It's as if the clarinet represents something embedded in the mud, struggling to be uprooted, feeling that its voice represents the cry of that hidden identity, or fireflies buried underground, still trying to resist. It could convey the pain and depth of that struggle, the attachment and the old age in its timbre. It is the light of fireflies slowly fading, but trying to hold on onto the earth and eventually glowing brightly. It is the strength of a village identity trying to survive globalization." And then she said to me, "I hope you're not going to think I'm crazy, but that's how I feel about the emotion that it should convey." And I really loved it, and so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we are welcoming, not twice, our Italian duo, Lilo and Lorenzo, for the project Two Summers.
Everyone, my name is Lorenzo, it's Lilo, we are from Italy, and I'm here with my project. It's called Two Summers because it's set in two summers actually, with the same character, and they're set in the same place, which is the Venice Lido, the Lido di Venezia. In the first summer of the film, we meet Francesco. He's 13 years old, and that is the first summer of his adolescence. So he discovers love, desire, and soon after the pain of loss. And then we jump 7 years later. It's still summer, we are still in the same place, and he seems kind of stuck, unable to think about his future. And in this second summer that the film tells, the past comes knocking at his door again. And that's almost the story of the film. I don't want to say too much. Speaking about the music, I've never met Lilo before, although we had a lot of friends in common. And it was wonderful to meet him. So we started by sharing a lot of stuff we made. I loved his music. And most of all, we spent a lot of time talking about the film. I really realized that Lilo fully understood the film and get on specifically on the tone and the themes of the film. So it was an easy and wonderful collaboration for me. And then I leave the word to you.
It was great for me too to work with Lorenzo, because I think we have a strong artistic background in common, so we really understood each other's language when working. And we started to have this conversation about trying to build a composition around the idea of these two summers being linked in a way, and specifically the idea of the second summer contained inside the first one. And so we tried to wrote this piece where there's a first initial part, which is the first summer, then it fades into the second one, which is more like melancholic and like full of nostalgia because things have happened between the two, periods of the story. And then it fades out again into the first summer at the end. Another thing was that we wanted, in a way, to have some like classical-ish element into the composition, which in a way reminds of the story take place in Venice, so which in a way reminds of like the classical architecture of the place of the Venice scenario. And lastly, we had this feeling of the need of having like a classic theme, so a melodic element that leads the character through its like emotion, and it's like changing through the two summers. And that's it. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Thank you.
you very much. Now, a Danish project, Silke, by Selma and Celine. Unfortunately, the director, Selma, won't come during Les Arts this year, but kindly her producer, Christian, jump on stage with us to present the project.
Hello. Yeah, so I'm not Selma. My name is Christian, and I'm the producer of the project. Unfortunately, Selma had to cancel a few days ago due to personal reasons, but I'm very happy to be here, and it's super nice to see so many of you. I'll briefly introduce you to our project called Silke. It's an adaptation of a children's book from the early 90s, and it's one that's very personal for Selma as well. It was one, like, when Selma grew up, she was diagnosed with ADHD and had eczema, epilepsy, and when reading the book, she kind of felt that it resonated and she felt like she wasn't alone. So it's a project that she's wanted to do for a long time, and we are very happy to work on as the first debut feature. It's also a book that contains a lot of, I think why it also resonated with her was that it contains a lot of darkness and magic, hope as well. But the thing is that it's not like other children books and movies where you hand everything on a silver platter. It's like a thing where there's like all these existential thoughts that lingers afterwards, and yeah. So it's not just like it's a very challenging book and film as well. So what the story is about Silke. She's 6-7 years old, and she also has struggles to fit in with her peers and her friends, and she feels isolated. But she loves water, and she finds solace in water. Like all her eczema and all the stuff, it kind of really, it all disappears when she's in there. So during the story, Silke transforms, and we basically we follow her journey into becoming her true self in a way. The more she gets into water, the more she feels free, the more she feels like herself. And again, at the same time, the more distant she becomes to the world and her parents and everyone else around her. She starts getting issues breathing, getting issues speaking and listening. But again, when she's in the water and her longing for the ocean, it all disappears. So throughout her journey, her skin changes, and she basically turns into a different creature. Overall, the film is really about finding out who you really are, and it's also a film about letting go of your loved ones. And then it's a story that celebrates differences, especially in like the world as we live now, where everyone really wants to put everyone into boxes. So that's it for me, and then Celine will talk a little bit about the music.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Oh, sorry. You can applaud him. That was great. Thank you, Christian. So hi everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Celine. I'm from France. So yeah, darkness and magic, that's exactly what it was. So when I read the script, because we have to choose, that's amazing, that's the other way around. So I directly picked this one because of all like the fairy tale magic, but also darkness and this fear of not belonging anywhere. So that was something that I really can relate to as an outsider. So Selma wanted for the score really like full orchestra, such as the Impressionists like Ravel or Debussy. So we had to keep that in mind, the full orchestra, but going more like yet minimalist approach to go with the socialness realm of the movie. And what excited me the most is she asked me to create an ocean orchestra because of the longing of the character for the sea. So if you think about that, you like ocean and orchestra, and you don't want to sound like bad meditation, new age music, or you're like, where are you going with that? And I was like, because of my contemporary classical musical background, I was like, how you can use all the orchestra but make it sound like you feel the waves and the seabirds and the air. So I went full on this way. I had the chance to be in Estonia 2 weeks ago, so I recorded Baltic choirs, hail and flutes. I went to the ocean, I recorded shells as well, and I worked with amazing quatuors of strings alongside sample libraries. You will listen, but I really focus on that, like when you will hear the music, you can feel the ocean, and I hope you will. I went really full on this way. And for the narrative of the music, I tried to go to the journey when Silke, the main character, is going finally to the sea. So she feels the ocean and she's rushing into the waters and the waves, and you will feel the big waves, I hope. And then it's the second part, really magical one, really like she's in the sea, she's like this child reborning again, and she's surrounded by mermaids. And so that's the second part, and I recorded myself like an alto glockenspiel, which is kind of weird. It sounds like a bit childish, you will listen, and I tried to play it like I was 5. So you will listen to that, and I hope you will like it. And I wanted to say that I'm really grateful to be here, and we have amazing people surrounding us, and I'm really grateful to have worked with Selma and you, and I'm so happy, so yay!
Thank you very much. We keep the energy of Céline to talk now about the project Single Path with the literary director Egle.
Thanks. Well, hello everyone. I'm Egle, Lithuanian director with my film Signal Path. And well, I have a story of 5 people, so it's a collage, so to say, and I'm dealing with the identity questions, and mostly through female perspective. So I have a story of Victoria.
She's Lithuanian and she leaves Lithuania with her daughter. She's 11 and she's trying to rebuild her life in Berlin, in Germany. She meets at the party, she meets Matthias. It seems like he's an old acquaintance, old friend, maybe, maybe not. But they reconnect. Back in Berlin, they start to go on these urban journeys together, trying to abandon a predominant path, trying to forget about the maps and rediscover the city together, if it's even possible, to rediscover something that we think we might already know. So, and Victoria, she's sharing a flat with Maria, and Maria is on gender transition journey. She's also juggling work at ad company. And we have Leah, she's back in Lithuania. She's a sister of Victoria, and she's going through a miscarriage, a grief of loss of a baby. She's back with her mother, and she's trying to reconnect with her sister, if that's even possible. And I mean, when I was thinking about the sound for this film, I wanted it to be from these people's world. So of course, since the film takes place in Berlin and in Vilnius, Berlin already brings very specific tendencies. It's one of the leading countries in dance music, and I have to say, dance music is the music that brings people together. It allows you to reconnect with yourself in a way and to reconnect with others on the dance floor. So it is music of the marginalized, of the outcasts. And also I had another very different direction, which I got from listening to a video diaries of this person that I found online. And she was talking a lot about her journey through the transition. And she made these very simple guitar songs where she was sometimes just singing about what she's going through. And I felt that, yeah, like this type of music would be in the world of these people in the film. And yeah, basically that's what we talked about. And maybe I'll give a word to you, because I think Céline found a very personal connection to it as well. So
yeah. Hello again. How are you? Anyway, so the reason I picked Egla is because the file was so precise. She's so clever. You can read, yeah, you're brilliant actually. Like you read the script, you read the file, and you're like so many layering about humanity, about how someone can feel an outsider as I think anyone can feel an outsider sometime, but and how at some point you can reclaim yourself by making hard choices like leave the place you grew up and stuff like that. So the genre of the music is really far from what I do. It's techno trance music and folk music, but I wanted to do that because I wanted to work with her. And I was like, I can try, and I want to challenge myself. And the thing that she was talking about is the first time I was in Berlin, I was in Berlin each year because my best friend lives there. And that was the first time I came out as a queer person. So it's a big thing for me. Anyway, and so I tried to go with this journey in this music, I don't know. So I went full on trance techno, you will listen to that, and also folk music. And we try to make it simple, like I write the lyrics about the loneliness. And so you will listen to two very different excerpts, like trance techno and then folk. And we try to make it like it's a DJ, like just going the filter between it, because we had fun doing that.
Yeah, and I really think it's for us. It just started. I think
it was the beginning.
We found some sort of a boundaries in
this universe.
In the universe that now we could dive in, trying to really experiment and find very hybrid ways of how we could approach this.
What can we keep from the techno, like maybe the rhythm, the beats, the sounds, and what can we keep from the folk music, like the emotional part. So what you will listen basically is just the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
Of the work. Yeah. And this is techno, so we will be ready.
These words are for you, my friend. You comes so often. This day I don't know who I am. Oh, solitude, it's you again.
Thank you. Now we are talking about the project Rebound with Ivar and Jonas. We can applaud them.
Hello everyone, I'm Ivar Rose, I'm a Norwegian director, and my German friend Jonas you already know.
Hi.
I have been working on a trilogy of short films about a character named Lotte. She is an online sex worker doing webcam dominatrix jobs on the side of her psychology projects. And in our feature film we follow her on with a client to get away with a wealthy client where she gets into it's a social nightmare. And speaking with Jonas here, we tried to, right now I'm getting nervous, and that's exactly what my film is about. And trying to be the cool guy, this happened earlier also. I guess it's method the pitching or something. But my main character, she's trying to keep up this hard, cool character type, playing the role of this wealthy client. And those things, what we try to do in the video. Maybe you can pinch in a little.
Yeah, when we first I read the screenplay and we talked about everything, and then we were thinking about what could we do musically, and one thing that came to mind is that breathing plays some role in the movie, also just in the story, because they're doing breathwork exercises, but also I feel maybe it's obvious that breathing is something very human and very important and also very personal to us, and I thought it could be interesting to expand on that idea of breath and air in general, and build the music around certain forms of air, and then there are now elements of just wind, which also is maybe connected to the film because it's supposed to play in a very windy area of Norway, when I understand correctly. But also we used a lot of wind instruments, and not all those instruments are properly played. Sometimes it's just blowing air through the flutes and through the instruments, and having it slightly with a slight pitch, but also very this air noise thing. We used also a little bit weird wind instruments like the contrabass clarinet and the bass flute, so really deep and profound wind instruments, and whistling, and also singing and humming and stuff like that, also actually breathing noises. And yeah, this makes it's it's like the backdrop of the music, and maybe also what connects us to Lotte, to the protagonist of the film, and like what makes it kind of personal. And then as a contrast, there are string instruments and also a piano, which provide more like the to say it more like the strong elements and like a melody. And for me, when writing the music, it was a little bit like the part that stood for the other people and like the environment and like the clash and this like balance between it's nice to be with other people and it's exciting, but maybe also a little bit of like this persona she's playing. But then at some point it also becomes unbearable and like very loud and very like unpleasant somehow. And I think this piece of music is kind of trying to depict the emotional balance of somehow going on an interesting and exciting journey, and then but at some point being overwhelmed by that, and to also like, especially in the end of that piece, being really close to Lotte and also seeing her not only, like you said, as this very strong person, which she certainly is, but also as this fragile person and vulnerable person, and being like close to her. So yeah, that's like the realm which is at play psychologically and like from the story, in which we try to convey with the music.
And that is also for my part in the screenplay, the journey of Lotte, the main character, is kind of what we tried to do a little here. And that also her client and the other people she meets in the film, they're all posing as different versions of themselves, and then gradually we get to know them more, and we see them vulnerable. And yeah, I would also just say we had a really good remote relationship over cam, so which as in the movie, so it's really good.
That worked well, yeah. And now we're seeing like also like a mood trailer with footage from the trilogy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it's some clip from my shorts.
So the feature isn't shot yet, obviously, but it's like an idea of what it maybe could look like. Enjoy.
Thank you.
And now, last but not least, Time Zone with Lucas and Lilo.
Hello, everyone. Happy to see you here. I'm Lucas. I come from Vilnius, Lithuania, and I'm a director, screenwriter, and an editor. And I'm here to present to you my first feature film project called Time Zones. It's basically a road movie in which the main character, Andrius, and his mother embark on a night ride around Vilnius, searching for Andrius' ex-boyfriend, like really problematic ex-boyfriend, who suddenly disappeared. Has suddenly disappeared. And but this search is troubled by the fact that Andrius feels almost no connection with his mother, as she's been living and working abroad for many, many years, since he was a kid. And still, he needs help, and his mom finds in this situation an opportunity to act like a real parent for the first time in a while. And as you can see, this film explores relationship between adults and their parents, and raises issues they face when they can't find an adult relationship and connection. I think this topic is very important and very universal, and that's it about the plot. And I see this film, I imagine this film very modern, very fresh, very fast-paced, very edgy, I would say. and I, together with composer Lilo, we created a soundtrack. And when it comes to music, I rarely use non-diegetic music in my short films, but a feature film is a different story, yeah. So together with Lilo, we decided to create a soundtrack for the moment when the main character gets really emotional and vulnerable, and he lets go of control, and he loses hope, and his body refuses and says, like, yeah, no energy anymore, no hope anymore. And the whole creative process was really interesting and really productive, I would say. And I hope Lilo will tell you a little bit more about the creation of this soundtrack.
Hello again, I'm Lilo. I must say it was very easy to start a conversation, an artistic conversation, even if we didn't know each other before, because Lucas has a very clear and focused idea about the movie, and this helps a lot when you have to compose something which hasn't been shot yet. And we almost immediately focused on the main aspect of the soundtrack. First thing was that we didn't want to sound like too dramatic, I mean cliché dramatic, because I mean the scene is very emotional, but in a way the character is still very, you know, a difficult person to unravel. So music has to be very suspended, and we decided to use this technique of using just chord progressions, which were really neither quite major, so happy, or minor, so sad. So this was the first idea. Second thing I came up was that we tried this interesting irregular ticking sound, which I imagined as the mind of Andrews just, working up with his thoughts. And then this ticking slowly fades into, initially it's very dark because it's a synthesizer, and then slowly fades into a sort of bells-like sound, is a glockenspiel specifically, and it represents this, this unraveling of his emotions finally at the end of the film. And lastly, I want to say that we had this funny but creative accident yesterday when we were like fine-tuning the last details. There was also Laura listening, and we accidentally played the music with two players at the same time on the computer with a very subtle delay, and it sounded weird, but very interesting in a way. So we tried last minute to replicate this, but in a sort of more studied way, and it worked, and it makes sense with the film because it's there's some sort of foggy ambient feeling about the movie, about this this night, which is not this road movie, which is not very classic in a way. So that's it. I hope you enjoy, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's already the end of the music pitch of this year, where we can applaud again all the directors and the composers. I just want to call on stage all the directors and composers of today, please. Again. Yeah, I know you're tired of the floor, Ruth. Please. if you want to discover more about the universes of the composers and directors, do not hesitate to reach them, have a look on their project in the industry catalog as well, ask meetings, ask coffee. And there's also a screening of the Talent Village directors shorts tomorrow at 2 at R2000. Yes.
Bravo, everyone. You were amazing. I'm very emotional. Bravo. Yeah, amazing work for everyone.
And I also want to say thank you very much. It's very easy to have that intimate relationship with each other and be able to share those moments and share your baby with each other and make that creation. It's another whole different thing, pitching it and sharing it with an audience and talking about it, and not in notes and not in musical terminology. So thank you very much. You all did a wonderful job.